Jailbreak from the Car Forest, fall of 2012. Everything about Goldfield is contradictory and dreamlike. I pencil these words from my Goldfield jail cell in a 2-story steel box that was once the brig on a military ship somewhere at sea. Apparently, Nevada is like half military. So maybe a steel echo ping-pongs, walls gray rolled and punctuated with huge rivets. We can hear the female inmates above us talking, taking showers, no exaggeration. It's a little distracting. I'm trying to write an article. It's a desolate desert courthouse jail that looks like a rock wall fortress. The thing has turrets. Tour guides come through this Wild West building and talk about gold mining history and court cases from when people used to get hung. It's still active. It's still a courthouse. Today it's one of these counties funded by speeding tickets. I can't see the haunted high school outside my tiny window, but I know it's there. We did ghost tours there, also the graveyard, and the Goldfield Hotel a few blocks away, which is quite famous from TV, quite haunted. I don't know what one of the 7 portals to hell means, but yeah. Occasionally ghost hunters come from TV for activity at rooms of the famous Goldfield. Teddy Roosevelt spoke from the balcony there. I don't think he's one of the ghosts. Yes, teddy bears were named after him. I know you didn't ask. Ask me about the historic Joe Gans fight. 47 rounds, 1906. Anyway, the Goldfield is the 6-story brick building that dominates the view from my radio station window. Me and vodka like to record late at night. Semis passing through can be infrequent that late. I saw a coyote crossing right in front of the courthouse the other night. We both stopped and stared at each other in the moonlight for a moment, and it's not that much vodka. I hear him and his friends howling every night at the edge of town, sundown. Future tour guides will mention me. Artist Chad Sorg had a brief residency here in this very cell while building the Car Forest. I barely bother telling these guys about my Car Forest. We are inmates. They will learn soon enough. In here, I'm just another guy having a bad week. But yes, it's true, I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce of this town. I sit in jail writing about the fact that I'm an outsider in a town of outsiders. Oh yes, I'm big time. I wrote a fake check. It was for urinals. Standing outside of the courthouse a week ago, I approached one of the sheriff's deputies and asked if they'd be bringing me in. He said yes. So I walked quietly into booking, shed my things, and became an inmate. I had heard from another deputy they'd be bringing me in after a complaint about the check. Thought there was no point in fighting it. In a small town, everybody knows your business. Our end of the world party was to introduce the International Car Forest of the Last Church to the world, loudly. I thought we'd need 3 porta potties for the crowds. Las Vegas media came. I thought it would end up a mini Burning Man, but, well, the party was intimate. Rain. Porta potties were almost unused, but we did a bus burn that night. The rear tire dripped liquid rubber for an hour, glowing with fire. That was a hit. For 8 weeks on my radio show, I had been playing. That's number 4. For 8 weeks on my radio show, I had been playing different versions of the Skeeter Davis song from 1962, End of the World. I'd always open my show with that song. By day, we were planting buses vertically in the ground. By night, I was a radio DJ playing to travelers on a stretch of desert road Friday nights. For a year and a half in the heat of the sun, I had spray paint cans and blazing bright color accoutrements across these rusty cars and buses. I'd paint them after we planted them. I was making art. I was also armed with a rifle and a bottle of very cheap wine. It was a jug, really. This was my job. Musically, since there was nothing else to listen to, the local station did nicely. The 4x4 was parked and speakers broadcasting well. Radio Goldfield was mostly country, but was clearly open to interpretation. Wilco would resonate here. I could tell there were no restrictions on this radio station other than cussing and FCC stuff. But I was happy to hear something like a college station playing things you wouldn't hear regularly. In my view, from the car forest would span 70 miles. It's a place for thinking and also for not thinking. Shadows from clouds roll slowly across that distance, and the beauty made for the ultimate environ. People come here to get lost. I couldn't have felt much more off the grid. Ecstatic. No one was watching me. No one was watching me. No one was watching me. Painting a bus or a Buick when the wind is blowing just slightly, it affects your lines of blue and mango as the wind flips. This is a moment best tinged with Carlo Rossi. I can still hear the sound of jackasses just over the ridge near a couple Joshua trees where the Volvo is buried. Better than the sound of Facebook jackasses. These animals were here since the days of the gold miners. Since the days of the gold miners. We put 40 cars on the ground. 2 of them were buses. The junkyard was emptied. Now this was a full-fledged car forest. We put them in random orientations. We left one bus horizontal. It was a yellow school bus, and it was to be the green room for the stage for the bands. We thought Tom Petty would play there, and Rolling Stone would cover it. Maybe the Black Keys. I want the cover. I always wanted the cover. World domination, fist raised into the air. The place is ready for concerts, big ones. We became a special spot for night photographers. I think some of the best came to shoot. The earliest ones got the cars in their most pure forms. And then came the drones. The footage and photography I've seen online has tickled me to no end. We built a destination. I just got out of jail. They just let me go. Everyone understood that my explanation was the truth. The old man was in bed when they came to deliver the porta potties. He had me sign checks for him before, so I went ahead and did it again. I paid for the 3rd porta potty with my own cash. Trying to pull a crime out of this didn't make any sense, and everyone knew he just did it to fuck with me. They just nicely said, leave. When the old man was done with us, he was done. He's crooked and mean, and he doesn't fight fair, but thanks to him, we have an oddity called a car forest there that will keep growing in absurdity. In terms of Goldfield commerce, I'd say we did all right together. It was done. A friend called me the Thoreau of Great Basin Desert. This was my Walden Pond. But I'm feeling like the Birdman of Alcatraz. Although Thoreau did write civil disobedience in jail. Welcome to Audio Sorgfield, opens my show. Roger Miller's Where Have All the Average People Gone? Is my opening song. The people in the city call me country. I don't mind them laughing in this city because the country folks all say I'm cityfied. My show is pre-recorded, so I plan it out, and the editing is an enjoyable process of detail for me. Golden Earring does 30 days in the hole. And of course, Thin Lizzy says, tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak.